The next governorship of Anambra State must come from Nnewi. And I mean must come from Nnewi must be Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Patrick Ubah.
Welcome to this episode on Noble TV. Anambra State has 3 senators representing the states at National Assembly. We have a senator representing Anambra South, Anambra North, and Anambra Central. And amongst the 3 senators representing Anambra, only one of them won his re-election bid and was returned back to the National Assembly. I'm talking about the person of Senator Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi of the YPP party. We're going to be looking at what he did, why he was able to get back his re-election bid, why he won, despite the tsunami that swept most of them off their various positions. With me to talk about this is my very good friend, Dr. Chidi Peters.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Dr. Chidi Peters, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let me start by saying this. Like in Anambra State now, we have some, I'll call them old politicians. They've been there for quite some time. Senator Kunifi has won several House of Rep to the Senate, and she's been consistently winning. Beating her has not been easy, and but you just saw what happened in the last election. She lost. Also for Anambra North, Stella Odua lost. But for the candidate of the YPP, Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi, what do you think happened?
Well, Anambra is the home of politics as far as Nigeria is concerned. By little extension, Africa, when you talk about politics of positivity, honestly speaking, give it to Anambra people. They know how to play the politics. When you also talk about politics of development, give it to Anambra people. They know politics very well. When you talk about politics of fairness, politics of equity, give it to Anambra people. They know how to play politics. Political equity among the communities, among the clans, among the districts, among the local government. Talk about Anambra. When you talk about old politicians, not entirely Anambra, I bet I disagree with you. In Anambra, we have had people like Joy Yamode, who have retired voluntarily. We have had people like Iriobuna, who retired voluntarily. We have had people like Ike Chukwubiora, who retired voluntarily. We have people like Mbadnuju, after governor, he retired back to his home. We have a lot of them. So, but now you now have the political major players, which came up with this newer generation politicians like Ekunife, who have come in and have done wonders as far as the central is concerned. Then you now have people like Alfonso Shiweke then, which is from the north, who also did wonders. Then Joy Yamode did wonders. Then currently you now have people like Stella Odua that came from the north. Excellently wonderful constituency project in terms of reaching out to his people to give her thumbprint. Then you move down to Victor Ume, that was before, when he was doing his short time, excellently well, marvelous and excellent. You talk about Ngige, when he was a senator too, he also did wonderfully well. So Anambra, as far as I'm concerned, the political awareness in Anambra State is very, very high, and they do things accordingly. It is your turn today. When you finish, you give chance to another person to be his turn. So they rotate it among themselves. So I give that to Anambra people. Now I'm talking about tsunami that happened in the same Anambra State with Labour Party. Like I told you earlier today, I said Labour Party is a movement. P2B is a phenomenon. P2B is a case study that we need to study. P2B sweeping Anambra and it's sweeping Anambra is a testament that P2B as a governor did not disappoint Anambra people. And whoever he brings to contest with the position in Anambra State, Anambra trusts that such person will not disappoint Anambra people. You may ask me why did Valentine Igbo came second. Valentine was a fresher coming to the political titan in Anambra State to contest alongside with them, coming second. Not far second. You know, a slim second with the first shows that P2B is a name to reckon with. Ifeanyi coming back to politics again after the first 8 years. Remember, he contested for governorship with the LP. Remember again, he contested for governorship in ABGA and PDP ABGA before he now contested for Senate where he won. he has been a philanthropist. Even before he came into politics, he has been doing that. So give it to him in terms of philanthropies and of course, community service. Give it to him. As a senator, he has made a mark. Within the 4 years I've been a senator, as Prince of the Senate of the Red Chamber, he has made a mark. Brought a lot of bills, sponsored a lot of bills. To sponsor a bill in National Assembly it's not local government administration. You need funds, you need connection, you need contact, you need conviction, you need patriotism, you need to reach out, you need to build bridges for you to get across. Let's take, for example, which is one of the unique projects he has executed so far. The Nnewi, the Nnamdi University Hospital, the permanent site has been there for years. Every time they tell us this is happening, that is happening, and they have been clustered in the temporary site, which was the General Hospital of Nnewi. But now, with Ifeanyi coming in, seeing how he was able to coordinate some of the who is in Anambra State, and they were able to kickstart projects in the permanent sites. And today, the teaching hospital has moved completely from where it was. If there are things in the permanent site, the temporary site, there are minor things, but the major activity of that hospital has moved to a permanent site, courtesy of this particular man. Then you have some of the abandoned projects, which he was able to tidy up with constituency project. You have some of the federal projects, the almighty Nnewi, Amici, Kulummili, Unubi, Oga, Akokwa, Okija Road. That road has been abandoned for several years. From Ubah administration, we keep hearing awarding of contract, another award of contract. But as soon as he came in, that was one of the priority. And today I can assure you that road, being a federal road, has approached a very long distance, which drainages both ways, moving side by side. That's part of the project attracted. Then we now talk about Ubah, Ojoto, Ichi, Nnewi, Ozobolo, Okija, up to that road. Of course, that's a part of the project he attracted. Though built before, but rehabilitation went on because it came to a total set of collapse. Another minor road that which has attracted. And there are projects that I believe I want to read out to you. Some of the bills that people don't know that he sponsored. And of some of these bills that he sponsored, I believe he will return to National Assembly. He's going to make sure that this bill came to the limelight. We have the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contracts Act. That is part of his act, part of the bill he sponsored. Then we have the National Institute of Business Studies, Nnewi. It's in the pipeline, and I can assure you he's going to get it done. Then we have the Petrol Tanker Safety Bill, which was as a result of petrol laden trucks falling on the road and killing people. So the safety bill, he promoted the safety bill, and I can assure you that safety bill is almost coming to existence in Nigeria. We have the Power and Petroleum Safety Institute of Ifite. It's in the pipeline. We have the Institute of Aviation Safety and Management, Mbosi. Imagine where Mbosi is. Mbosi is where the chairman of Airpeace hails from. Now they are taking Institute of Aviation to his village. It's a welcome development. It's a thing to return him back to National Assembly. And of course, we have the Erosion Control and the Prevention Commission. Erosion, Anambra State is the worst state as far as erosion is concerned. Talk about Nnewi erosion, talk about the Amici erosion, talk about the Oga erosion, talk about the Oka erosion. Everywhere you come in Anambra State have been prone to erosion. And this is a man who is asking federal government to let us create, as much as we are create a commission for displaced persons, let us create a ministry, a commission that have to be tackling this thing, because we have had ecological funds being projected into this project with erosion control in the state, and yet no effect. But with this commission, if it comes to be, I can assure you that some of this erosion we have in Anambra State are going to be a goner. We have the Oko erosion being controlled by the previous administration, yet that erosion keeps eating deep in Anambra State. So if we have such commission, it will go a long way. We have the National Institute of Security and the Strategic Studies, which is coming out in Urumba, one of its kind. And of course, we have the Federal University of Technology, Oko. Anambra State being a home of technology, have no institute, have no University of Technology. It's unfortunate. We only have one in Enugu. So having one in Oko, where we had a Federal Polytechnic, to have a University of Technology would be a welcome development. That means people now can easily be in a community or in a state where technology, a home of technology, that is the proud Japan of Africa, as Babanga will have referred to Nnewi. So if we have Institute of Technology or University of Technology in Anambra State, it will go a long way. And this Ifeanyi, by sponsoring a deal to have it in Oko, and of course, We have the Institute of Rice Research and Development coming up again. Of course, we have Meteorology Training Institute, Ubah. We have one in Onitsha, but we also need to have one in Ubah. Ubah has been a state or an area that has been abandoned. And of course, it's a little bit far distance from Onitsha. So having Institute of Technology and Meteorological Science in that Ubah is going to be a wonderful development. And of course, one of his projects has embarked on bills. Federal Medical Center, Uli. We have the University Hospital. That's not the Federal Medical Center. So we have the Anambra State University Hospital in Oka, but having a Federal Medical Center in Uli is going to go a long way. And I believe before he finishes this is 4 tenor, that's the 4-year tenor about entering now, those projects are going to be reality. Of course, we have the Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Oka. When you talk about broadcasts, mass communication, talk about Anambra State. Anambra State is a state that has one of the highest number of TV and radio stations as far as I'm concerned. You check it, it's there. The records are there, very clear. Of course, you have the Federal Orthopedic Hospital, Ubah. When you talk about things that have to do with orthopedic, by way of local ways, we talk about ambulance. They are doing very well in it. So having orthopedic hospital in Ubah is also another thumbprint. You have a National Center for Sickle Cell Anemia Research at Agwata. Sickle cell has a lot of our children have died of sickle cell without knowing. So having a research institute in Agwata means a lot. And remember, Anambra State is one of the states that have the highest professors as far as Nigeria is concerned. You check the records that are there. So having that also help. Also, of course, an amendment, a bill, a repeal bill on National Nigerian Bank of Commerce and Industry. That will go a long way for a lot of us that are into commerce. And of course, we have a Family Economic Advancement Program. Of course, reenactments. So these are some of the projects I can cite in that this one have embarked on. So taking you back to National Assembly is to actualize these bills that he has sponsored. And I can assure you, within the next 4 years, this is going to see light of the day. Well, so congratulations to Anambra people for electing him. And of course, as far as zoning is concerned in Norway, it is the time of the Norway community to produce the senator. And after these 4 years, I believe it will go to another community. And of course, kudos to Chris Azubogo, a wonderful man, excellent man. As far as House of Representatives is concerned, they have done wonderfully well in terms of road projects. They have done wonderfully well in terms of attracting estate development, federal houses development in Norway. They have done wonderfully well in equity and so on and so forth. He contested for the Senate and he lost. And in his own will, as a political statesman, he congratulated Ifeanyi because all of them are scoring the same goalposts.
It's okay. Thank you so much. You've really taken time to look at some of the bills sponsored by his Dr. Senator Patrick Ifeanyi, some of his contributions, like you talked about, Newipo understanding his contributions, and that's why he was voted in. Not just Newi.
Not just in Newi.
You know, there's Anambra South has 7 local governments.
Yes.
Comprise 7 local
governments. In the last 4 years, have touched virtually all the 7 local governments. There's a particular community where a senator has been. The family have produced senator all through. But in this community, they have been in darkness for several years. And this man, before he became senator, promised them transformer, and he did the transformer. And within the shortest period of the Senate, the whole community was electrified. We now talk of Ekulobia, also being a beneficiary of his magnanimity. A lot of projects has executed in terms of assisting the church, building one of the best, one of the largest cathedrals as far as Nigeria is concerned. A lot of it has done in terms of giving scholarship, that was skill acquisition. You can see that Ifeanyi worked round the clock. He is the only man, as far as we are concerned. When Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, he is the only man that opted to go and visit him, and he is the only man that has stood his ground to ensure that he stand in for him as a shorty. No women have done it apart from this recent time that a lot of them have come out to say. So you can see the sincerity of purpose in whatever Ifeanyi is doing, as far as his conspiracy is concerned, and as far as the entire Igbo land is concerned.
Well, thank you so much on what you shared about the person of Senator Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi, his contribution, especially like you listed some things he has done in the House. You understand? It shows, give credence to him that he has really contributed a lot. Now, if I should ask you this question, he has contested twice for the gubernatorial position. Do you think he stands a chance now, considering all these contributions that he had contributed for the people of Anambra State? Because I'm not just talking about his senatorial zone now, I'm talking about the people of Anambra State. Do you think he stands a chance now? Do you think he has done enough to win that seat if he contests next time?
In this particular Labour Party, people to be contested now. Ifeanyi was the first
We're
person.
not talking about the Labour
I'm
Party.
coming.
You know, he contested
under Labour Party, and he was never a pushover.
Yeah, I know he has never.
He was never a pushover.
Has never been a pushover.
The Gobita final he contested was back to back. He was never a pushover. He was never an underdog. So him going to the Senate has also proven his credence, his credibility, his capacity. If he can govern and attract project to his constituency, giving gubernatorial position of this Anambra State, I can assure he's going to transform Anambra State beyond lip service, beyond armchair service. He's a man that likes hitting the streets. He's a man that likes seeing things done and being done perfectly the way he wants. And of course, you know him very well. He's a no-nonsense man as far as Ifeanyi is concerned.
That's interesting. Thank you so much. As everybody is going to do well. So the question now is, if you are asked to talk to Anambarians, do you think you can talk to the Anambarians to vote for Ifeanyi if he comes out next to contest? Or
no, definitely. This is beyond political rhetorics or beyond political affiliation. The next governorship of Anambra State must come from Nnewi, and I mean must come from Nnewi must be Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Patrick Ubah.
Well, thank you so much. We've listened to my friend share with us on.
Nnewi was robbed of this position in the past. Yeah, Nnewi was robbed. Name was robbed of this position before going to Mbadinoju, and they kept calm, they kept cool. So Nnewi never contested. This is the time of Nnewi to produce the next governor of Anambra.
Nnewi has produced in the person of Etiaba
as a deputy.
As a deputy,
not as a governor.
Not as a governor. Well,
not as a chief executive. As my principal will have it, the buck must be on his table.
It's okay. Well, thank you so very much. You've spoken glowingly about the person of Senator Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi. It's not left for us to go out there. I believe. What's your advice for him as he goes back to the red chamber now? What's your advice for him? What do you think he needs to do? He needs to improve on to make it better, to improve on all areas. What do you think are things he needs to work on now?
Well, what he work on is very simple. He's a role model, and you know that a lot of politicians look up to him as a role model, and he can't afford to disappoint Anambarians. He can't afford to disappoint those that see him as a role model. He can't afford to disappoint the Igbo land. So I believe going back to the Senate is another opportunity for him to actualize some of the bills he has sponsored and ensure they came to a positive conclusion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chibi Peters. We've listened to what he said, advice for the Anambarians, also advice for Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi on what he needs to do. Like we said in the last session, say to whom much is given, much is expected. We're counting on him, and we believe he's going to do better now that he has done. You know, he was called the Prince of the Senate. He was the first senator to sponsor so much this in his first tenure. And I think he will definitely improve on what he has done before. So one final word for our audience.
Well, the only final word is, as you post artists, that which is good, you must continue to do in season or out of season. Whether you have part on the back or not, whether you criticize or not, just do the right thing, and Nigeria will progress and will have a better society.
Thank you so much. From us at Noble TV, my name is Noble Arinze. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.